This is the L2C Media Network, and I'm Harry Stuttgart, your announcer. And this is Sports Final with Steve the Baxman Bax. Sports Final is sponsored in part by the good folks at the L2C Media Network. And here, our camera cat is. Thank you very much, camera cat. You're safe. Well, I can tell this show is going to be interesting. And here's the crazy reason why my camera cat. Hey, Uno, stop that! You're my camera cat. Okay, I'll just there. All right, how you doing, everybody? It's Steve the Baxman Baxley. Thank you, Harry, for the introduction. And if Uno is all right, we can continue. Okay, we can continue. All right, let's get on with it. Do you want to? Thank you. Okay, let's get on with the show. By the way, I want to remind you that Thanksgiving Day, as you know, the sports world kind of takes the Turkey Day off, and well, we will continue our tradition. I gotta stitch the camera there. We'll continue our tradition, which is to bring you, yes, even on holidays, we do got to bring you our little show of shows. But because the sports world will probably be taking the Turkey Day off, we plan to fill that little void. And let's see here. How do we fill that little void? You may ask. I am asking. How are we going to fill that void? Can you tell we're stalling? Yes, I know you can tell we're stalling because we haven't got the right thing yet. Have we? Yes, we have. Now we have. Thanksgiving. We would love to have you with us for our sports final. Thanksgiving broadcast at 11:30. 11:35 Thursday night. Why, you may ask? For the simple reason that with the holiday, things are going to be a little short, including our show. But we're going to go full hour because, among the things we're going to do, besides give you all the latest in sports, scores, and news, is do another live reading. And this live reading is going to be extra special. If you thought our salute to Pirate Queen was good, wait till you see what I got here. That's right. We're going to do it. It is Super Dead. There you go. That's right. We're doing a live reading of Super Dead. And it's going to be sort of in the mode of the Twilight Zone. So just remember, Thursday, 11:35, Sports Final and Super Dead. A live reading. And it is going to be a fun one indeed. So it's another, it's a Mandy Summers, Peter Gilmore joint. And we're going to give it the Twilight Zone treatment. So we hope you'll tune in for that. Okay, so we've hyped up the Turkey Day show. We're going to have the Turkey Night broadcast. Speaking of turkey, let's give you a little turkey right now, a little giblet gravy for you. That's right, it is time we do some sports. And we start off with Olympic Hey. And once again, we got two games that are still in progress that we will get to right now. Thank you. There we go. Okay. 5:46 remaining in the third. It is the Dallas Mavericks over the Phoenix Suns, 71-66. 6:15 to play in the third. It's the Toronto Raptors over the Sacramento Kings, 78-55. Oops, excuse me for a moment, folks. Gotta lift up there. I'll mess afterwards, and no wonder I'm lopsided. There we go. No, I'm not lopsided. Whoa, hey, I like it this way. No, actually, I don't. I much prefer equilibrium. Okay, let's give you the Golden State Warriors, Detroit Pistons. Warriors beat the Pistons 105-102. They're trying. Charlotte Hornets over the Indiana Pacers by a score of 118. No, excuse me. Charlotte Hornets over the Indiana Pacers 121-118. The Boston Celtics have run roughshod over the Los Angeles Lakers 130-108. And we got more finals. So here we go. Brooklyn Nets over the Orlando Magic 115-113. New Orleans Pelicans over the Los Angeles Clippers 94-81. The world champion defenders, Milwaukee Bucks, 96-89 winners over the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the Chicago Bulls beat the Denver Nuggets 114-108. If you think that's it for basketball, you got to be kidding. Hey, I'll have a great night, Sherry. You have a great night too, my friend. Take her easy. And don't forget, next Thursday night, Thanksgiving night, we're doing Super Dead. That's right, we're doing Super Dead. All right, let's get some NC2A women's basketball scores, and with proper emphasis, let's get it all here, shall we? All right, Florida Gulf Coast over Manhattan, 88-57. Let's stretch that a bit. Thank you. UAB over Mississippi Valley State, 76-62. Michigan State defeated Bryant. Where's the score, guys? Come on. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. Okay, do we have it? Finally? All right, let's do her again. Ole Miss over Louisiana Tech, 62-44. Texas Tech over Lamar, 72-68. Arkansas over Arkansas State, 94-71. Oh, forgive me. It's been one of them there days. Okay, have we got it right now, guys? Okay. I'll just take it from the top. Florida Gulf Coast, 88-57 over Manhattan. UAB over Mississippi Valley State, 76-62. Michigan State beat Bryant by a score of 100-60. Susie Merchant picked up win number 300 as a Spartan coach. West Virginia over Kennesaw State, 78-58. Nicholls State over Spring Hill, 73-53. Fairfield over Stetson, 59-50. Wolfwood over Southern Wesleyan, 106-55. Lehigh, 91. Mount St. Mary, 72. Maine defeated Yale in a rather tough game, so the score says 47-44. USC Upstate over Columbia International, 81-40. Morgan State, an 87-35 winner over Notre Dame of Maryland. Marshall, 65-58 winner over Morehead State. Charleston, a 66-62 winner over Norfolk State. Massachusetts, a 61-58 winner over Holy Cross. Yes, sir. Florida gave some Gator chomps to Grambling State, 70-55. Northwestern State over Louisiana College, 78-36. Southeastern Louisiana over Alcorn State, 69-58. And Delaware over Delaware State in the Battle of what Delawares, 79-48. Radford over Lenoir Rhin, 75-44. William & Mary over George Mason, 65-54 in overtime. North Kakalaki State over Kansas State, and that is 69. Very workable, number 69 is. Murray State over Chattanooga, 78-55. Rutgers in overtime over Harvard, 68-65. Bradley over Wisconsin, 64-57. Old Miss over Louisiana Tech, 62-44. Texas Tech over Lamar, 72-68. Arkansas over Arkansas State, 94-71. Loyola Marymount over Utah State, 69-66. Arizona over Marist by a score of 78-36. Did they even show up? Colorado over Marquette, 69-53. Utah over Cincinnati, 45-78. And Portland, Hawaii start in about 13 minutes. There we go. And that was the basketball scores for the women. Now, let's giddy up with the scores from the men. That's right, time for the men. On this, I do believe they call it National Men's Day. Or was that yesterday? I think that was yesterday. Okay. Ooh, that's a little too big. There we go. All right, let's kick it downfield. Okay. Boise State over Temple, 82-62. Utah State over New Mexico State, 85-58. Colorado State over Bradley, 66-60. I'm going to place you over here so I can do it like this. Texas State, 85. Dixie State, 65. St. Bonaventure over Clemson, 68-65. Davidson over Pennsylvania, 72-60. Massachusetts over UNC Greensboro, 93-90. North Dakota, a 74-72 win over Troy. Creighton over Brown, 78-57. Vermont over Yale, 61-53. Longwood over American University, 82-42. Eastern Washington over Cal State Northridge, 67-64. Wahoo. Iona over Liberty, 54-50. Youngstown State over St. Thomas of Minnesota, 79-75. Oklahoma over Indiana State, 87-63. Norfolk State over Bowling Green, 90-84. Northeastern over Duquesne, 71-55. Weber State over Ball State by a score of 85-74. Florida Atlantic over Tennessee Martin, 75-67. Pittsburgh over Townsend, 63-59. Georgetown over Siena by a score of 83-65. Maryland over Hofstra by 2, 69-67. Kentucky, a 77-59 winner over Ohio. In overtime, it was Maryland Eastern Shore by 2 over Fordham, 75-73. Minnesota took out Purdue Fort Wayne, 78-49. James Madison over George Mason, 67-64. Maine over Maine Fort Kent, 75-43. Auburn over South Florida, 58-52. Mount St. Mary over Robert Morris, 74-70. Massachusetts Lowell over George Washington, 67-56. Merrimack over Lehigh, 55-45. Nebraska over Idaho State, 78-60. Furman over Radford by a score of 81-64. Virginia over Coppin State, 68-52. Belmont over Kennesaw State, 97-78. Marquette over West Virginia by a score of 82-71. Cornell over Wells, 107-48. Manhattan over North Alabama, 55-51. UMBC over Western Carolina, 91-75. Stephen F. Austin over Middle Tennessee, 87-74. Wofford over Hampton by a score of 77-60. Arkansas State over Southeast Missouri State, 72-60. East Carolina over Old Dominion, 73-60. Niagara over SIU Edwardsville, 70-60. Memphis over Western Kentucky, 74-62. Southern Illinois over Colorado, 67-63. Duke over Lafayette, 88-55. Florida International over Green Bay, 63-60. Alabama, an 86-59 win over Oakland. New Orleans over Rice, 78-83. Tarleton State over Paul Quinn College, 69-42. South Dakota over Southern University, 71-68. Stetson over Lamar, 60-59. Louisiana Tech, an 83-64 winner over Northwestern State. Santa Clara over Cal Poly, 87-57. Gonzaga over Bellarmine, 92-50. Georgia Tech over Georgia, 88-78. Ole Miss over Elon by a score 74-56. 6:51 remaining in the game. It is Arizona 62, Wichita State 54. Minute 50 remaining in the game. It is San Diego over Cal State Fullerton, 55-53. And with 2:50 left to play in their game, UTEP over Pacific, 73-60. 12:30 this coming a.m. It is the University of Nevada, Las Vegas at Michigan. Are you kidding? That late? You gotta be kidding. I'm calling shenanigans on that. I think it's Michigan at UNLV at 12:30 a.m. But well, if it is 12:30 a.m., then so be it. So there you go. There am your basketball scores for the college. Now let's go for the G League. That's right. It is time for G League scores. And we are looking for, we're looking for the 19th, and I think we overshot. Yeah, we did. Okay. There we go. Let's hit it and hit it high, hit it low, and hit it large. Delaware Blue Coats over the College Park Skyhawks, 109-101. Lakeland Magic over the Greensboro Swarm, 83-82. Raptors 905. Raptors 905 over Long Island Nets, 106-98. Maine Celtics over Capital City Go-Go, 118-91. Wisconsin Herd over the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, 111-108. And the Santa Cruz Warriors squeak out a win over the Salt Lake City Stars, 116-111. That takes care of our basketball look. Let's take you now from the hardwood to the hard ice. It's time for our NHL scoreboard, which means we also get to check what's coming up on Saturday night, hockey night. And there were only 2 games in the NHL, and they're both continuing as we speak. The Avalanche over the Seattle, at the end of second reload. Thank you. At the second intermission, Colorado Avalanche is handing the Kraken another tentacles. They lead the Seattle team by a score of 6-0. We seem to be having a technical issue with our main little sideliner, so we will switch to another position. And let's see if we can do that. Thank you guys very much. Let us know. Okay, let's get to the score for tonight's games if we can. All right, after 2 periods of play, it is the Vancouver Canucks 3, Winnipeg Jets 1. And also hitting the second intermission, the Colorado Avalanche are giving the Seattle Kraken fits. They lead 6-0 at the end of 2. And right now, we're going to take you on a tour of what's coming up this Saturday in the NHL. It'll be at, we got a couple of early games. By early, I mean 2 4 o'clock games. First one, the Carolina, almost, why do I keep saying Colorado? The Carolina Hurricanes take on Los Angeles Kings in a game that you can see if you have that NHL Center Ice, courtesy of Bally Sports West and Bally Sports South. And also a 4 o'clock game, the New Jersey Devils pay heed and homage to the 2-time Stanley Cup champion defenders, the Tampa Bay Lightning, also 4 o'clock. That game to be seen on the NHL Network nationally, Sportsnet in Canada, Bally Sports Sun in Florida, and MSG Plus in New Jersey and New York, and wherever else they're located. Minnesota Wild take on the Florida Panthers, 6 p.m. Eastern. That game on Bally Sports Florida, Bally Sports North, and Bally Sports Wisconsin Plus. The 7 o'clock Hockey Night in Canada night games are the Pittsburgh Penguins play at Bell Center, or whatever they're calling it now. Penguins, Maple Leafs, 7 p.m. NHL Network, CBC. Sportsnet 1, Sportsnet Ontario, Sportsnet Pacific, ATT Sportsnet Pittsburgh. The other 7 o'clocker will be the French-Canadian folks. The game will be carried on TVA. For the rest of Canada, it will be seen on City and Sportsnet East. And in Nashville, to be seen on Bally Sports South. Calgary Flames play host to Calgary Flames, New York Islanders. That game, 7 o'clock, Sportsnet West, Madison Square Garden Plus, Madison Square Garden Plus 2. Boston Bruins play the Philadelphia Flyers. That game to be seen on NBC Sports Philadelphia and the New England Sports Network, otherwise known as NISN. Detroit Red Wings, Arizona Coyotes will meet at 8 o'clock. Bally Sports Arizona, Bally Sports Detroit. St. Louis Blues and the Dallas Stars will meet in the game at 8 o'clock on Bally Sports Southwest and Bally Sports Midwest. And the 10 o'clock game, we got 2 10 o'clock games. Hi there. You want to, no. Come on, get me back. Sure. Thank you. Columbus Blue Jackets play against the Vegas Golden Knights. That game to be on AT&T Sportsnet Rocky Mountain and Bally Sports Ohio. Meanwhile, Linda Steele Chicago Blackhawks take on the Edmonton Oilers. That game to be on CBC as part of the Hockey Night in Canada doubleheader, as well as on Sportsnet City and for Chicago Blackhawk fans, NBC Sports Chicago. And that is, we got one more. What? Yeah, one more. The Washington Capitals take on the San Jose Sharks. That game at 10:30 on NBC Sports California and NBC Sports Washington. The Rangers and Senators have been postponed due to, I do believe, either rotten weather or the coronavirus. So take your pick on which one. So therein lies the tale of that. Let us now head to our the minor leagues, or the junior leagues, or whatever they're calling it nowadays. We go to the AHL, find out how things are going there, get in touch with the scoring updates and everything else. Let's go to it. One game remains. Just started. 17:03 left to play in the third. The San Diego Gulls lead the San Jose Barracuda 4-3. Final scores: Rockford Ice Hogs over Chicago Wolves 6-3. Cleveland Monsters over Syracuse Crunch 5-1. Utica Comets over Charlotte Checkers 4-1. Providence Bruins over the Hartford Wolfpack 2-1. Rochester Americans over Lehigh Valley Phantoms 5-2. That same score in, by the way, 2 games in a shootout. Of course, I speak of Lehigh Valley Phantoms, Rochester Americans 5-4 Rochester. In our other shootout final, Springfield Thunderbird over the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins 5-4. In a normal final, the Iowa Wild defeated the Tucson Roadrunners 5-0. Manitoba Moose defeated the Milwaukee Admirals 4-3. Grand Rapids Griffins in overtime took out the Texas Stars 5-4. Henderson Silver Knights over the Colorado Eagles 3-2, and that is your AHL. For us, let's go now to the Ontario Hockey League for Friday night action. Do we have a Friday night action? Yeah, 8 games in the OHL. Let's take a look. Flint over Erie by a score of 6-2. Kingston over Peterborough by a score of 5-3. Mississauga over Barrie 3-0. Sudbury over Ottawa 4-2. Owen Sound over Guelph 3-2. Saginaw over Kitchener 6-4. Sarnia over London 4-2. And North Bay over Oshawa 4-2. There you go. Yay. And that is your OHL scoreboard, and we are done with our hockey segment. So let's get to some news views here for you as we go to the headlines. And if you remember, Carlos Correa made some disparaging remarks on Derek Jeter, saying that his play didn't even warrant that he didn't deserve. Carlos Correa said that Derek Jeter didn't deserve those Gold Gloves. He did nothing spectacular. Well, Derek Jeter had his say on it, and it was only a matter of time. Thank you. And it was only a matter of time before Jeter was asked about Correa's comments. That moment came on Friday as Sports Grid's Craig Mish broached the subject with Jeter, now the chief executive officer of the Miami Marlins. Jeter's response was captured on film and shared by CBS Miami's Mike Cugno, who said, "I don't think much about it." Well, that's good. Jeter, for the record, did win 5 Golden Gloves during his career, with those coming in 2004, 2005, 2006, 2009, 2010. Correa isn't the first individual to question the merit of those wins, of course. Public advanced defense metrics are notoriously unreliable, but Jeter was regarded as below average in almost every one of those seasons, the lone exception being in 2009 when he was worth 3 defensive runs, according to Baseball Reference's calculations. Can we lower that? Cameraman having a difficult time learning the rope. There we go. That's a little better. While Correa's comments and his involvement in the Houston Astros sign-stealing scandal won't win him any fans in New York, he's still likely to be considered by the Yankees as a potential off-season addition. Such are the perks of being the top-ranked free agent in a very loaded class. This, if you saw it, disgusted me to no end. Former NFL running back Zach Stacy Let's try that again. Former NFL running back Zach Stacy was arrested Thursday night on felony charges of aggravated assault and criminal mischief after video evidence surfaced of him allegedly beating up his ex-girlfriend, according to a report by TMZ Sports. Stacy, a former second-team All-SEC selection at Vanderbilt, who played in the NFL, flew from Nashville to Orlando on Thursday night. Excuse me. As we said, flew from Nashville, Tennessee to Orlando, Florida on Thursday night with the intention of turning himself in, according to reports by TMZ. Stacy had been accused by his ex-girlfriend of beating her on numerous occasions. Earlier in November, Stacy's ex-girlfriend, Christian Evans, publicly shared a video of the athlete allegedly punching her in the head multiple times before throwing her into a television. Their 5-month-old son is present in the room while the altercation is happening in the video. In an application for a restraining order, Evans wrote that Stacy, quote, has escalated violence since May while I was pregnant. He also assaulted me just weeks before our son was born. He will not stop. He will kill me, and he feels justified in his actions, according to TMZ. Stacy fled the scene of last Saturday's alleged assault before Evans called 911, but was taken into custody on Thursday night without incident. For her safety, Evans has allegedly been moved to an undisclosed location. Stacy was chosen by the St. Louis Rams. Shall we repeat? The then St. Louis Rams in the 5th round, the 2013 NFL Draft, and played 2 seasons for the team, as well as 1 season for New York Jets in 2015. He retired from the NFL in 2017, but went on to play professional football for the Saskatchewan Roughriders of the CFL and the Memphis Express of the now-defunct Alliance of American Football. Presently, Stacy faces up to 15 years in prison if convicted on the charges he is facing. Well, the Dallas Cowboys can't get a break, and COVID is to blame. The Dallas Cowboys will have to outpower Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday without one of their top offensive weapons. On Friday, the Cowboys announced they have placed starting wide receiver Amari Cooper on the reserve COVID-19 list, which will knock him out of Sunday's matchup. Todd Archer of ESPN reports that Cooper will miss the Cowboys' Thanksgiving matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders as well. Now, according to ESPN, Cooper is unvaccinated, meaning he will have to enter a 10-day quarantine. The earliest he'll be able to return is Monday, November 29th. So even if the Cowboys-Raiders game was on Sunday instead of Thursday, he would still not have been able to suit up. However, he should clear COVID protocols in time for Dallas's Week 13 contest against the Saints on December 2nd. Oh, we've already done the Cooper thing. Let's go to our next one. There we go. Thank you. And, well, for a second time in his 85-game career, Zion Williamson has not been on the court to open the New Orleans Pelicans schedule due to injury. And again, the absence is lasting longer than anyone has ever anticipated. After missing the first 3 months and change of his rookie season with a torn meniscus, Williamson fractured his right foot this past summer and is yet to play, making progress but slowly. He was just cleared for one-on-one drills. There's a long way between that and playing in an NBA game. There's no way not to worry about Zion's foot and knee injury history that dates back to high school and his size, particularly given the force with which he plays. Only heightens that concern. Williams is listed at 284 pounds, the same weight he was listed at last season, but per Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report, he's believed to have reached north of 300 as recently as the preseason. Now, this is not this is not a body-shaming situation. This is a critical component of Williamson's basketball equation, both near and long term. And the Pelicans, who reportedly tried to alter the way Williamson walked before he played in his first NBA game in an effort to mitigate his injury risk, are obviously going to do everything in their power to keep him in the best shape possible. Per ESPN's Brian Windhorst and Andrew Lopez, that encouraged their, quote, culinary practices, in other words, keeping the junk out the cupboard. Now, also, there's only so much that the Pelicans can do. Zion is a grown man who's going to ultimately make his own decision as it pertains to what and how much he eats. Let's be honest, he has been sidelined for months recovering from surgery. Conditioning is going to suffer for anyone who has spent more time on the couch than the basketball court. Now, Zion's combination of size and athleticism, the very pairing that perhaps makes him susceptible to recurring injuries, is what makes him even more dominant. It's a fine line finding and maintaining the right balance between good and bad weight. Like Charles Barkley, this will likely be something Zion has to deal with his whole career. It's just how he's built. It's up to him whether his size becomes a strength or weakness as his career progresses. So there you go. Take a little pause here. Delish. Okay, let's get back to the headlines. Burp. And in college basketball, wow. A high school basketball prospect who had recently signed to play for George Mason won't be allowed on the team. Why? He was arrested Wednesday night on murder charges, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. 17-year-old Cameron Walker, a star player for Milton High School in Alpharetta, Georgia, and teammate Jonathan Murray, 18, are accused of killing 24-year-old Connor Mediate on October 14th during a drug deal. Police took Walker and Murray into custody just moments after they played in Milton's game on Wednesday, the AJC reported. Following the arrest, George Mason issued a statement saying that Walker would not be allowed on the university's basketball team. The case against Walker and Murray was built through a collection of Snapchat messages, cell phone records, surveillance images, and witness statements, according to the AJC. An arrest warrant obtained by the AJC says the men intended to rob Mediate and that he was killed in the process. The warrant said it was unknown whether Walker or Murray pulled the trigger. Walker signed with George Mason on November 10th with a since-deleted social media post from the program lauding his toughness and competitive edge. His team at Milton High School is ranked number 2 nationally by Max Prep and also features 4-star Ohio State commit Bruce Thornton. The program's junior class is highlighted by 5-star combo guard Kenan Carlisle. Wow. Okay, let's hit our international segment. Then we'll go to some media bites and wrap it up with another international hit. But right now, we got scores from football games from tonight. We don't mean usual stuff. There we go. And yes, we are doing our usual college football preview. Right now, let's do this. Championships, Queens Park Rangers over Luton Town, 2-0. National League, Grimsby Town over Southend United, 1-0. Scottish Championship, Inverness Caledonia over Queen of the South, 2-1. Seamaroo Premier, Ballatown 3, Flint Town 1. Aberystwyth Town over Cardiff 1-0. The New Saints beat Newtown 2-0. Irish Premier League, it was Coleraine 3, Larne 1. Irish Premier Division, Derry City over Dundalk 2-1. Finn Harps over Longford 5-0. Shamrock over Drogheda 2-1. Sligo Rovers and the Bohemians tied at 1. Waterford and St. Patrick Athletic Goose Eggs. Spanish La Liga Levante over Athletic Bilbao Goose Eggs. German Bundesliga. Augsburg over Bayern Munich 2-1. The French League. Monaco and Lille tied at 2. Australian A-League action had Melbourne City FC 2, Brisbane Roar FC 1. Belgian First Division, Michelin 2, Club Bruges 1. Brazilian cities A, Sport 1, Bahia nothing. Danish Superliga, Odense Bowl Club lost to Viborg 3-2. In the Russian Premier League, it was Zenit St. Petersburg 5, Nizhny Novgorod 1. And there you go on that side of life. And we just got one more little piece of fluff, but we're going to do that a little later. Right now, let's get you to at least one. We got a couple of media stories here to wet your whistle for the weekend. NBC's retention of the Premier League US TV rights for the Premier League for a reported $2.7 billion over 6 years is a huge get for the company. The involvement of CBS and ESPN, among others, in the bidding pushed the price per season more than the $250 million NBC paid over 3 years in its first contract with the Premier League, and more than double the $150 million or so the company paid on its current 6-year deal. Over 2 contracts, the value of the Premier League's rights have increased more than 5-fold. Based on that information, it's easy to say that, NBC overpaid, and maybe they did. That is a lot of money, but NBC reportedly didn't even have the high bid. Jim Miller reported that a combined Warner Media Fox bid topped NBC's eventual winning offer, suggesting that it wasn't an overpay at all, but more loyalty. Looking at the deal from another angle, NBC had to keep the Premier League after losing the NHL earlier this year to the combination of Turner, of Warner Media and Disney. Losing one 10-pole set of rights is one thing, but 2? That would have been a huge blow to the NBC Sports brand. The company would have lost 380 live events, not all of those air, cable, and broadcast, mind you. Along with the associated shoulder programming, the Premier League shift to USA this January following the shutdown of NBCSN at the end of the year will help replace reruns with live programming on weekend mornings and some weekday afternoons, further increasing the value of USA to NBC and various cable and satellite providers. Now, without the Premier League, NBC would have much less leverage in those renegotiations, especially with cable exclusive matches seemingly remaining off Peacock to start, at least in this contract. In a way, losing the NHL rights helped pave the way for NBC to bid so high. For the Premier League, the NHL package split between ESPN and Turner cost 2 companies a total of $625 million per season. If NBC wanted to retain both the NHL and Premier League, they probably would have had to dish out somewhere about around $1 to $2 billion per year for the 2 leagues. Under its last deal with the NHL, NBC was paying around $200 million per year, along with the $150 million-ish that the Premier League was getting. NBC isn't getting anything new with their Premier League package and has lost all the NHL primetime windows. But in terms of raw cash outlay for live rights, they're not much further off than where they were a year ago. Shutdown of NBCSN also somewhat helps in this regard. Instead of needing to fill those NHL primetime windows after the next 6 weeks with comparable content, NBC can lean on USA's scripted programming and reruns. live content that networks lust over, but it's better than returning and rerunning older sporting events. And then there's Peacock. Now, NBC still schedule Premier League matches available on its streaming service, as we've seen with both the Bundesliga and La Liga on ESPN Plus, and the Champions League and Series A on Paramount Plus. This reflects the tough position NBC finds itself in. The Premier League has been a fixture on NBC's platform since 2013. And in that first contract, all 380 matches were available with a cable subscription. The Premier League Pass came along in 2017, eliminating that authenticated streaming for matches and paywalling the ones that weren't televised. 3 years later, Peacock launched, and that Premier League Pass content was rolled into new streaming platforms, bringing us to the situation we currently find ourselves in. Instead of gaining access to all the matches with either a cable or direct-to-consumer package, fans need both. That's because a tougher sell when you don't need the cable subscription for the other top European leagues, and it's going to be tough for NBC to keep that balancing act up in the coming years. Now, all of these points would have been indeed moot had NBC lost the rights to a Premier League. The company would have been boxed into a corner with the most significant rights packages up for grabs in the next couple of seasons, being the NBA and Major League Soccer. Neither would fill the unique scheduling shows of the Premier League, and an NBA package would probably end up costing more than what NBC paid for a Premier League. By retaining the Premier League's rights, NBC keeps one of its most valuable properties and also will continue its weekend morning domination from August to May. Congratulations. Reminder again, while you're having your turkey, we'll bring the dessert. That's right, covering the Thanksgiving Day games and more, including part one of Super Dead, or part one of our live reading of Super Dead, excuse me. Michelle Beadle's new podcast with The Athletic debuted this week, and for her first interview on the show, she brought on a strong, outspoken guest. Former ESPN colleague Paul Pierce joined Beadle from a hookah bar in Los Angeles to talk about their days working together on NBA Countdown, experience with dating apps, notably Bumble, the theory that he left the court in a wheelchair during Game 1 of the 2008 NBA Finals because he pooped his pants, and the two respective feelings about LeBron James. Pierce was fired by ESPN after posting an Instagram live video showing him drinking, smoking, and playing poker with strippers dancing in the background. However, the Hall of Famer wasn't too upset about the dismissal, as reports made it clear that ESPN and Pierce weren't happy with each other. The network didn't think he was working hard enough as an analyst, while Pierce was tired of rehashing the same talking points on the air and backed up, waiting for either liftoff or something else. I think we're in the clear now with the media stories. Hey, Dandelion Fluff, how you doing? Gotta tell you, the hockey scores, exquisite. I'm seriously lacking in any sporty balls. Well, you come to the right place. We'll fill you up with sporty balls. We're almost to the end of our show anyways. But tomorrow, we got a lot. We got NHL hockey tomorrow. We got college football tomorrow. We got basketball, hockey, you name it. We got it all tomorrow night. Anyway, Michelle Beadle's new podcast with The Athletic debuted this week, and for her first interview on the show, she brought on a strong, outspoken guest. Former ESPN colleague Paul Pierce joined Beadle from a hookah bar in Los Angeles to talk about down experience with dating apps, notably Bumble, and the theory he left the court in a wheelchair during Game 1 of the 2008 NBA Finals because he pooped his pants, and the two's respective feelings about LeBron James. Now, Pierce was fired by ESPN after posting an Instagram Live video showing him drinking, smoking, and playing poker with strippers dancing in the background. However, the Hall of Famer wasn't too upset about the dismissal, as reports made it clear that ESPN and Pierce weren't happy with each other. The network didn't think he was working hard enough as an analyst, while Pierce was tired of rehashing the same talking points on the air and looked forward to the end of his contract. Naturally, Beadle wanted to put Pierce on the spot about ESPN right away, asking him about posting that video and subsequently being fired. Pierce said, quote, "I was tired of it anyway, truthfully. I got nothing against them, but I was getting bored there. Stuff was changing all the time, and it just wasn't the same feeling like it was when we was doing it." Pierce went on to explain that he didn't realize an Instagram Live video streamed out live, and thought he could go back and not to post it later. Even worse, he didn't know other users could record the video and share it online, making it go viral. Okay, and Michelle Beadle said that the LA Laker star, in his own mind, LeBron James, tried to get her fired from ESPN. He tried, said Beadle, responding to Pierce bringing up the rumor. He did try to do that. I was like, wow, I'm honored that I'm even on your mind. Thank you very much. That's a weird place for me to be, end quote. Hopefully, Beadle elaborates on this in a future podcast. Maybe there's enough of an uproar among sports media and fans, would she have talked about the LeBron thing if Pierce hadn't brought it up? Or maybe she wanted him to. The entire production conversation is worth listening to, with Pierce stating how much it would take for him to box the former Meta World Peace, now Meta Standiford Artest, in his upcoming work for Showtime, which includes appearing on the All the Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. Anyway, his upcoming work for Showtime, which includes on the All the Smoke podcast with Max. Okay. Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes host the All the Smoke podcast, contributing to the premium cable network's boxing coverage and working on documentary projects. And that is about it on that. Let's take you for that delayed last roundup of sports news. And here we go. All right, let's oh boy. All right. Excuse me. Okay, let's get to live sport for our international report, and then, hey, good night, Dandelion. Love you, Sherry. Love you, everybody. Yeah, we're almost wrapping this up. German. Oh yeah, we've already done that and that. Let's do some European basketball. Unix Kazan over Alba Berlin, 85-71. Andalou Fs over Monaco 98-77. Zenit Petersburg over Olympia Milano 74-70. Zalgiris Kaunas over Fenerbahce 86-75. Olympiacos 90. Maccabi Tel Aviv 73. CSK Moscow over Baskonia 80-74. Leon. All right. There we go. Let's see where we're at here. Olympiacos over Maccabi Tel Aviv 90-73. CSKA Moscow over Baskonia 80-74. And Lyon Villeurbanne, Barcelona over Lyon Villeurbanne 80-60. Ole. Okay. Wow. I think that's about it. Yeah, that is it. My God. No baseball playoffs or anything, so we're going to be going night-night, everybody. As you can tell, my eyeballs are about ready to go night-night, so it's time to go night-night. Don't forget tomorrow, big event, Michigan State versus Ohio State. If Michigan State wins, they will have first place all to themselves in the Big Ten race. Good luck to everybody. We'll be back 11:35 tomorrow night with a whole lot of sports. To be Steve Sporty Balls. Thanks everybody for watching. Good night and have a pleasant sleep. And go green, go white, go dynamite. Good night, everybody. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2 Media Network. And, of course, the L2C Sports folks. Good night, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow night, along with the rabbi, 11:35 tomorrow night. Thanks. Good night, everybody.